Our language either enhances or destroys our wealth. For example, do you spend or invest time? I know I've said over and over, spending time. But what if you went from spending time and saving money to investing time and growing life? Look, I'm a recovering miser. In my early years of my life, I rarely, if ever, considered the value of my time. Not only did I spend time looking for ways to save rather than growing my money, but I also did some irrational things in the name of saving money. And because of this irrational behavior, my kids' favorite pastime is hearing my wife share stories of my most miserly days before they were ever born. Stories like trying to convince my wife to live in her parents' basement rent-free, or bringing canned food on vacation, or not turning on the heat in the winter, or air conditioning at times in the summer. Jealous? And buying my wife a phone case on clearance for 99 cents as a Christmas gift, mind you, that didn't even fit her phone. See, my wife didn't know how much of a miser I was initially because, well, we dated in college where nobody really had or spent much money. But it was our first year of marriage, which she says was the hardest that she started to discover. I spent so much of our time budgeting, cutting expenses, limiting our lifestyle, and arguing over spending. Spending time. An interesting choice of words. Not investing time, but spending it. Spending time is what happens when we do things we hate in the name of money or not valuing our time and chase discounts and deals. Time is also spent when we aren't present, which robs us of energy and stills the moment. For much of my life, spending time saving money was an obsession. I consistently focused on what we could go without. This type of thinking doesn't allocate time for creativity, definitely no time for fun. The focus on saving even limited my expression of love because such a large majority of my attention was towards ways to save money, leading to fighting over the budget. Yeah, later I wrote the book, Budgeting Sucks, GarrettGunderson.com/BS or Budgeting Sucks. That first year of marriage, I'd created a financial prison. This was a learned behavior. I grew up surrounded by misers I loved. I mean, I get why they adopted this mindset. Both sides of my family came from hard times and moved to America in search for a better life. From famine in Ireland or a downtrodden economy in southern Italy, money felt scarce. But even after moving to the U.S. and my heirs born in the United States accumulating more than my great-grandparents could have ever fathomed, the shackles of scarcity remained. Scarcity was tribal in my family. It was part of our ancestry, passed down through cliches and memes that lived on like ancient petroglyphs and fireside stories. It reminds me of folklore with Greek mythology. In my family's mythology, money was both the hero and the villain, never to be trusted, but always to be coveted. A conundrum. If money is the root of all evil, yet we want more of it, what the hell does that say about us? It's confusing and conflicted. The questions became how to provide much with it without having too much. So who decides how much is too much? The miser philosophy of preservation became a way of life, our family culture. My great aunt buried cash in tin cans in the cellar. She even applied for welfare while having $500,000 in her savings account at a local credit union. Poverty is a philosophy, it's a perspective. It became her state of being. When people are born into and stuck in scarcity, it's hard to know there's an alternative. Scarcity is invisible as air and can suffocate prosperity. Scarcity permeated the language of my family and entered far too many conversations. Hey, kids are starving in, name the third world country. Who left on this light or didn't finish this drink? I still catch myself doing this at times. Hey, gas is the cheapest here. Yeah, don't let that money burn a hole in your pocket. These are the words I heard. The miser's philosophy is hard work in multiple ways. Number one, always effort to earn more through trading your time for money. But two, spend just as much time working to save and lower your expenses. This is a mindset rooted in fear and memorialized in past circumstance and hardship. But the real evil or villain isn't money. It's scarcity. The first four letters of scarcity are SCAR. And that's exactly what hard times can do. leave scars. These scars can override logic and even become the philosophies that determine our path in life. These scars live on in the form of ideas guiding our actions, our arguments, and ultimately consuming our thoughts. I get it. People have been through difficult times, and that leaves these scars. And they often want to protect their loved ones from experiencing similar pain. When my great-grandfather had a hard time making enough money to put food on the table, he had to leave southern Italy for America. And he wasn't able to see his family for 7 years. Scars. Scars can be reminders of the past and of the pain, but without full perspective or regard to what happens when times change. When behavior remains the same or is irrelevant to the times, preservation becomes an obstacle to prosperity and our peace of mind. In other words, fear overrides logic. What helped our ancestors survive at one time prevents thriving in the present. Without detection and a new direction, the trap remains. Money becomes the excuse. It becomes the cheese in the trap. In scarcity, money is seen as a win-lose zero-sum game of struggle and favor. Either you're lucky and born into it, or you're in bondage and trade your life for it. But what is money really? It's just a thing we made up. This good product or service is worth that much of these dollars, and it may be worth more or less depending on the day or the country or how much has been printed. That's crazy. Money's a snapshot in time, a man-made tool of efficiency invented so we wouldn't be stuck bartering. Give you 6 pumpkins for that goat. No, you don't like pumpkins? How about one of my kids for that cow? It seems fair. Money's a way to exchange value as well as to store value. But when viewed through the lens of scarcity, it's to be feared. What good is money if you don't utilize it? I mean, it can act as a security blanket of sorts, but does it provide true security? The miser seeks security but remains in scarcity, ending up trapped because nobody shrinks their way to wealth. Nobody shrinks their way to wealth. The way to wealth has much more to do with production, not reduction. And beyond production, wealth is a byproduct of a life well lived. A life of expression, connection, a life of fulfillment. Early in my marriage, I thought being a miser was the best way to protect my family. But what was the consequence? Preventing quality of life. There are, however, pieces of the miser that can be valuable in context. I mean, what can we learn from the miser? What aspects of their perspective can be of value? Having savings, or what I would call a peace of mind fund, is great, even critical. Some people call this an emergency fund, but I get that, but it has so much more value than just providing in case of an emergency. It can be a support, a more abundant mindset that's supported by having that cash on hand, knowing you have the money to handle surprises, yes, but also give you options in your career if you don't enjoy that career, simply want to take a time off or break. That's what happens with the peace of mind fund. The question becomes, when is enough enough? When money becomes a byproduct of value and service and solving problems, that's when it's enough. When it's being mindful with our money, but not ruled or constrained by it, that's when it's enough. When a mindset of cutting out, reducing, limiting, or obsessing over how to save rules, we end up spending our time. How much time does it take to save money by coordinating when something goes on sale and being subject to corporate timing or agenda? I mean, how much time do you spend analyzing which is the cheapest gas prices or where you could get, I mean, what if you took that time for something of value and higher production for other people? Consider what an activity is worth and what your time is worth before putting forth the effort to do things yourself, rather than delegating or hiring someone so you can do what you do best. With each new project, each moment you take to find the best deal and trading your time in exchange for money, that moment is lost. Is it worth it? What is your peace of mind or being present worth? When I look back to my days as a miser, so much of my enjoyment was robbed by doing everything on my own to save money. Activities that might be worth pennies at the expense of dollars. Knowing the price of everything but the value of nothing, especially not my value. I knew where to buy stuff, where I paid the least, or often tried to just go without. But how much time is spent trying to save a buck, and at what real expense? Spending time. Yet time can be invested. Building a skill set or a relationship, investing in oneself, enjoying life, finding leisure a worthwhile cause. Time for yourself, for your family, for you and your friends. People that want your money say it takes money to make money, yet investing time doesn't require money. It takes intention, design. It's your time. Invest it wisely. Hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And if you're enjoying these videos, well, there's good news. More where that came from, so go ahead and click through and watch the next video now.